Hi, welcome back. I'm Tally, and today we are going to discuss my physical books. This year I decided I wanted to try and read more of my physical books. I'm completely happy having bookshelves full of unread books. It's a comfort to me. I enjoy knowing that they are always available. I do try to make use of my library quite a lot, but I also don't want to forget these books that I have sitting here. So as part of that, I decided to start the year by cataloguing every book I physically own. I used the Libib app, which I'm not sponsored, but please do feel free to sponsor me, Libib. I went through and scanned every book on my bookshelves. I must admit I have a lot of special editions, and I also have the standard edition of them. Some of the special editions didn't scan, and I didn't realise until afterwards. So I might be off by one or two, but they are books that are represented by the standard edition. So what did I learn? I have a lot more unread books than I initially thought. So on my bookshelves, I have 256 books that I have read and 478 books that I have yet to read. I will admit, some of these books I've put the full series on as unread because I don't remember how far I got in the series, and a lot of these series that I started quite a few years ago is going to have to be a case of probably starting from the beginning. So some of these books are technically read, but my brain is not very good at keeping hold of things over 5 or so years, so they are effectively deleted from my memory. I also have 7 books that I have separated as a reference section, and these are books that are more non-fiction that I wouldn't intend on reading in one sitting anyway. They would be books I would dip in and out of, so I didn't feel that it was right to list them as unread books, especially as I intend on using this shelf to randomise books throughout the year. So I have completely borrowed, was inspired, stolen this idea from Becca at Becca and the Books, and I am going to name all of the unread books on my shelves so that I can keep myself accountable. Wish me luck. If you see any as I go along that you think I should prioritise, please pop them in the comments, and I will regularly check the comments to see if there's any I should be picking up sooner rather than later. And without further ado, let's go. You want to be involved? Little Hamilton is here. Look at that pink nose. Look at that pink nose. Hamilton, pink nose. Sing your pink nose. See, I'm sorry I'm standing up for this video so you can't climb all over me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bubba boy. I'll give you lots of strokes after, okay? Look at the little beautiful boy. Oh, so beautiful. The Bewitching, The Vanishing and The Haunting of Eveline Jones by Phil Hicks. The Man Who Died Twice, The Bullets That Missed and The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. Inkheart, Ink Death and Ink Spell by Cornelia Funke. The Priory of the Orange Tree and A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis. Temperance Brennan series by Kathy Wright, because I have no idea where I got up to. Virals, Seizure and Trace Evidence from the Viral series by Kathy Wright. Dexter is Delicious, Dexter by Design, Darkly Dreaming Dexter, Dearly Devoted Dexter and Dexter in the Dark by Jeff Lindsay. Not sure where I got up to in this series. Faithless by Karen Slaughter. Reluctant Immortals by Gwendolyn Keast. A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. The Others of Edenwell by Verity M. Holloway. Red River 7 by A. J. Ryan. The Fervour by Alma Kutsu. Dracula Cha-Cha-Cha by Kim Newman. Metro 2033 by Dmitry Glukhovsky. They Lurk by Ronald Malfi. The Deep by Nick Cutter. The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. Looking Glass Sound and The Last House on Needless Street by Katarina Ward. What Kind of Mother by Clay McLeod Chapman. Full Immersion by Gemma Amor. World War Z by Max Brooks. A Grim Reaper's Guide to Catching a Killer by Maxi Dara. The House of Tongues by James Dashner. The Green Mile series by Stephen King. The Vampire Diaries series by L.J. Smith. Stalker by Lars Kepler. Girls of Little Hope by Sam Bexinger and Dale Halverson. So Thirsty, Black Sheep and Such Sharp Teeth by Rachel Harrison. The Devil Aspect by Craig Russell. We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. Eyes, Guts, Throat, Bones by Moira Foley. You Can Stay by Elle Connell. Frankenstein, Prodigal Son by Dean Koontz. The Mother Code by Carol Stivers. Letters from the Dead by Sam Hercombe. Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. Trine by Chris Faraday. Sister Maiden Monster by Lucy A. Snyder. Smother Moss by Elisa Auring. Garth Marenghi's Terratome. Hex by Thomas Old Hulvelt. The Drive by Jane Harper. Let the Right One In by John Avide Lintvest. Grief is a Thing with Feathers by Max Porter. Disturbance by Jenna Clark. The House That Horror Built by Christina Henry. The Gift by Sebastian Fitzek. The Whisper Man by Alex North. Marginal by Tom Carlyle. Feast While You Can by Michaela Clements and Julie Data. Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. Monstrillo by Gerardo Samano Cordova. Night Shift by Stephen King. The Cotton Candy Massacre by Christopher Robertson. Clown in a Cornfield 2, Frendo Lives by Adam Caesar. Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. Bram Stoker's Dracula. The Complete Sookie Stackhouse Collection by Charlene Harris. The Southern Vampire Mystery Series, because I have no clue where I got up to, so it will be a full reread. Flowers in the Wind by V.C. Andrews. The Judas Blossom by Stephen Aaron. Ascenders by C.L. Gaber. Roseblood by A.G. Howard. Flashfall by Jenny Meyer. The Unauthorized Biography of Ezra Mars, written by Daniel James. Velvet Was the Night by Sylvia Marino Garcia. A Light Most Hateful by Hailey Piper. Basilisk by Graham Masterton. Heroes Saving Charlie. Dark Places and Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. The Couple Next Door by Shari Lapina. The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. The Sanitarium by Sarah Pierce. The Woman in the Dark by Vanessa Savage. The Brighton Mermaid, Tell Me Your Secret and All My Lies Are True by Dorothy Coomson. Eggs and Love Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. We Are Still Tornadoes by Michael Kahn and Susan Mullen. Private Rights by Julia Armfield. The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I Am Pilgrim by Terry Hayes. That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf by Kimberly Lemming. 6 Stories by Matt Weslowski. Gog Magog by Jeff Noon and Steve Beard. Ordinary Monsters and Bringer of Dust by J.M. Miro. Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. The Light That Blinds Us by Andy Darcy Fio. The Psychology of Time Travel by Kate Mascarenas. Belladonna by Adeline Grace. Where the Dark Stands Still by A.B. Poronek. Inferno by Dan Brown. The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chow. In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Clune. More Perfect by Temi O. Days of Shattered Faith by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Ledge by Stacey McEwen. If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. Psychic Teenage Bloodbath by Carl John Lee. Myrrh by Polly Hall. A Christmas Ghost Story by Kim Newman. The Woods All Black by Lee Mandello. Nettle and Bone and A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. Once Upon a Hillside by Angela McAllister. They Came to Slay, The Queer Culture of D&D by Tom James Carter. How to Keep House While Drowning by K.C. Davis. Building a Second Brain by Tiago Forte. Loud by Drew Afuelo. My Rude Awakening by Edward Charles Featherstone. A Fenland Garden by Francis Pryor. House of Psychotic Women by Keila Janissi. Terry Pratchett, A Life with Footnotes by Rob Wilkins. The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson. The Hacienda, How Not to Run a Club by Peter Hook. Wonder Women by Sam Maggs. All About Love by Bell Hooks. Done is Better Than Perfect by Becca Pountney, Persepolis by Marjane Sarapi, Out of the Woods by Luke Turner, The Time in Between by Nancy Tucker, Half-Assed Human by Lena Norms, Confessions by Kane Minoto, Hare House by Sally Hinchcliffe, The Family Chaos by Lan Samantha Chang, Moonlight and the Perler's Daughter by Lizzie Pook, The Christie Affair by Nina de Gramont, Fight Night by Miriam Chews, The Rearranged Life of Una Lockhart by Margarita Montemore, Cult Classic by Sloane Crossley, Outlawed by Anna North, Dee's Transition Baby by Tori Peters, Vladimir by Julia May Jones, Yinka, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie DeMola Blackburn, Dark Dweller by Gareth Worthington, Tales of the City by Armistead Maupin, Godly Heathens by H.E. Edgman, Kindred by Octavia E. Butler, I'll Always Be With You by Monica Murphy, Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell, Lost in the Netherwoods by Aidan Thomas, Things in Jars by Jess Kidd, Life of Pi by Jan Martel, The Murmurs by Michael J. Malone, The Opposite of Lonely by Doug Johnston, The Marsh House by Zoe Somerville, The Knife and the Serpent by Matt Pratt, Love at First Set by Jennifer Dugan, Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, Classic Tales of Horror by Canterbury Classics, Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, Happy Place by Emily Henry, Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, Vox by Christina Doucher, She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, The Wicker Man by Kay Ankrum, Young Women by Jessica Moore, Dragon Fruit by Makia Lucia, Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed, Lucky Red by Claudia Cravens, I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman, Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, This Lie Will Kill You by Chelsea Pitcher, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong, Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth, Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller, Stormfront by Jim Butcher, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, June by Frank Herbert, Obsidio and Gemini by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, the Game of Thrones series by J.R.R. Martin, or whatever they're called. They're not called Game of Thrones, are they? But you know what I mean. The Killing Handbook by Emma Kennedy, Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel, Shield Maiden by Shannon Emmerichs, Don't Swipe Right by L. M. Chilton, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Only a Monster by Vanessa Len, The First Bright Thing by J.R. Dawson, Raven Song by T.J. Clune, City of Lost Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, An Encyclopedia of Tolkien by David Day, The Map of Tolkien's The Hobbit by Brian Sibley, The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, Tress of the Emerald Sea, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter, The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England, and The Sunlit Man by Brandon Sanderson, The Girl with All the Gifts by M.R. Carey, Monochrome by Jamie Costello, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, Scythe by Neil Schusterman, The Crown and the Heir by Kira Cass, Every Exquisite Thing by Laura Stephen, The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland, Ariadne by Jennifer Salt, The Magpie Society by Zoe Sugg and Amy McLough, Kane's Jawbone by Torquemada, Vert by Jeff Noon, Law by Alexandra Bracken, The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro and Cornelia Funke, A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers, Ace of Spades by Farida Abiki Mehdi, Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho, All the Girls I've Been by Tess Sharp, Business or Pleasure by Rachel Lynn Solomon, A Long Time Coming by Megan Quinn, Well Met by Jen DeLuca, Valor, Ruin and Wrath by John Gwynn, A Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, The Secret Service of Tea and Treason by India Holton, Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe by Toshikazu Kawichi, The Potion Diaries Royal Tour by Amy Allwood, My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, 10 Minutes 38 Seconds in This Strange World by Leif Shafek, Immortal Dark by Tigris Germa, A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent, The Will of the Many by James Islington, He Who Drowned the World by Shally Parker Chang, The Art of Prophecy and the Art of Destiny by Wesley Chu, Homecoming by Kate Morton, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yaros, Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Colthurst, Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, Of Craft and Honour and Templars Chronicles by George Gregory Buttigieg, Bargainer Books 2 onwards, 2 and 3, 2, 3, 4, I can't remember how many are in this series, by Laura Talassa, Princess and the Prick, Fairy Tales for Feminists, The Killing by David Hewson, Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, Jade City by Fonda Lee, Witches Steeped in Gold by Sianan Smart, The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas, The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe series by C.S. Lewis, The Cade Saga from the Edge Chronicles by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddell, Immortality, A Love Story by Dana Schwartz, S. The Ship of Theseus by J.J. Abrams, Ferris by Marissa Mayer, The First Law Trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, The Wicked King and Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, The Shades of Magic Trilogy by V. Schwab, Grimoire, Mindful of Murder, Armageddon Out of Here, Taniflo in the Magnificent Seven, and The Apocalypse Kins by Derek Landy as part of the Skullduggery Pleasant series. Crypt of the Moon Spider by Nathan Ballingrad, Coup de Grace by Sophia Aram. We have relocated to the bedroom for the next bookshelf. You can't quite see it, it's behind my wardrobe here. But let's do it. The Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath, and A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, the Immortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare, the Twisted Tales series, not all of them, but the first 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. I don't know what this series is, but like the villain version of the Twisted Tales series, I've got 3 of them. Hawthorne Legacy and The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And then by Alice Oseman, I've got Loveless, I Was Born for This, Radio Silence, This Winter, Nick and Charlie, and Solitaire. I also have volume 3 and 4 of Heartstopper, which I haven't read. I've read them as the webcomic, but I haven't read them as the bind-up version. The Aurora Cycle by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. The Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I'm not sure if this has a specific name for these like original 5, but Percy Jackson series. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, Bunny by Mona Award, The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins, The Secret History by Donna Tartt, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, The Golden Enclaves by Naomi Novik, 16 Souls by Rosie Talbot, Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, Babel by R.F. Kwong, Madam by Phoebe Wynne, A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, Us in Ruins by Rachel Moore, The Artemis Fowl Collection by Ian Colfer. I read these as a child, but I read these as a teenager and I don't remember them, so I'm going to reread them. We Are the Origin by C.M. Lockhart, Murder at Spindle Manor by Morgan Stang, Bloodstream of Moonlight by Roxanne Burley, The Cruel Gods by Trudy Skye, Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks, Heretical by Emma Whitehall, It's Me, Charlie by C.M. Goodross, Breach of Peace and Rebels Creed by Daniel B. Green. Yep, Daniel B. Green. Carved Amidst the Shadows by M.T. Fontaine, A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain, Witches Aren't Wicked by Hannah Baldwin, Truth and Other Lies by Lyra Wolfe, The Last Ranger by J.D.L. Russell, Secret Lies and Revenge and Secret Lies and Sacrifice by Ben Andrews. I read these last year when I was in a particularly depressive episode, and to be honest, I don't think that I fully absorbed them. I want to reread them and I want to give him the proper review that he deserves. Torn by Jasmine Watson, The Briar Men by Joseph A. Chadwick, The Octomani, The Court of Shadows by Victor Dixon, The Flames of Albion by Jean Z. Mendez, The Day the Earth Stood Still by Rebecca Fawn, Cold West by Clayton Snyder, The Land of the Young by Will Robinson, The Witch's Blade by A.K. Mulford, My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley, Enoka by Shane Hawke, The Broken Blade by Melissa Blair, Legendborn by Tracy Dion, H.P. Lovecraft, The Complete Fiction, Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury, Sheena Lende by Darcy Littlebadger, The Complete Works of William Shakespeare, and the complete novels of Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies by Seth Graham Smith, Jane Eyre Laid Bare by Eve Sinclair, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickinson, 1984 by George Orwell, Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller, A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, The Scarlet Letter by Nathan Hawthorne, Catch-22 by Joseph Heller, The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas, The Bronte Sister Collection. Okay, we are at the final stretch. This little reading nook shelf I have in my room, which you've probably never seen, and I tend to keep my special editions here, which I am a big fan, apparently, of collecting, not reading. So here we go. This is where we'll have multiple editions of the same book. The first 10 chronologically of the Discworld novels by Terry Pratchett. I really love these editions, so you know, if the Pratchett estate want to sponsor me and send me some more, that'd be good. The Adventures of Amina Al-Sharafi by Shannon Chakraborty, Can't Spell Tea Without Treason, and A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Fawn, The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, another edition of Babel by R.F. Kuang, The Book of Night by Holly Black, Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. If anyone would like me to do a little tour of my special editions, let me know in the comments. I can definitely do that in the future. Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid, The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton, A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid, Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands by Heather Fawcett, Poster Girl by Veronica Roth, God Killer by Hannah Kaner, The Red Scholar's Wake by Let de Baudard. Okay, and then we're on to my Olivia Blake shelf. I have read exactly one book by Olivia Blake, which is The Atlas Six. Fell in love with her writing. Have purchased every edition I can of any book that comes out since. But I'm also scared to read any other book by her in case The Atlas Six was a one-off. So yeah, that's a thing that's happening in my life. Not diagnosed with anything or anything. We have the Atlas Paradox, multiple editions. The Atlas Complex, multiple editions. Alone with You in the Ether, multiple editions. Masters of Death, multiple editions. One for My Enemy. If you notice there's any editions I'm missing and you know where I can get them for reasonable pricing, please let me know. And now on to my Broken Binding editions. The Hanged God trilogy by Tilde Cold Hold, Red Seas Under Red Skies, and The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. That's the second and third in the Gentleman Bastard series. Books 1, 2 and 3 part 1 in the Memory, Sorrow and Fawn series by Tad Williams, and the Jade City series, Jade Legacy series by Fonda Lee. So there we have it, the 478 unread books on my physical bookshelves at the time of recording. It took me a few days to get through all these titles. So apologies if this video is a bit longer than you're used to from me, but thank you for sticking by. If you did make it to the end, please let me know by dropping a like. Consider subscribing to follow me on my journey of trying to get through some of these books. I would quite like to have read at least 100 of these by the end of the year. So please follow along to keep me accountable. And if you have nothing to say but would like to let me know you were here, drop a book stack emoji in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, friends. Would you pronounce that name?